Hello humans, Gita Rose here again. Thank you for tuning in. I've got my stage a little bare today because I liked the lighting. Why not? Figures pretty. Wore my sparkly shirt because why not? Why I do these things actually is because I feel them like direction from my higher self. That's what I want to talk about today. The higher self, the connection to the higher self. What exactly is it? How can we think about it in different ways to maybe fully shift our experience here on planet Earth? This video is inspired by the girls at my normal human restaurant job. I felt this was the next good idea to take this concept because I had been given my own teachings recently on this topic. So part of what I'm doing with this channel, part of what I'm doing with being this new voice somewhere out there, somewhere in there, is wanting to be really authentic with my process and the story that has, from my experience, just happened to me. So a big part of my foundations and of my teachings thus far has been from Bashar via Daryl Anka, and myself as a vocal channel. A lot of what we are referencing are these same concepts that maybe I am relaying in my own way, and then Bella's perspective, being that I channel, has her own perspective. But I'm very aware that it is pulling from a lot of the foundation that's come from Bashar thus far. And I am in no way affiliated with Bashar Communications in this now. But I feel it appropriate to remain very honest and authentic that this is a lot of where I get my information from, or a lot of things that I'm inspired by, and then combined with Bella, and the more that I fully relax into this connection that I really do believe is happening, is an external perspective, the more that I'm going to bring in more information. But I really don't think that there's very much more. There's just different ways of looking at it, or different translations that we can have that can potentially help different people. So that's what I'm inspired to do. I'm gonna leave a link in the description about this specific transmission that I received recently from Bashar Communications that really helps solidify some of what I'm going to talk about today. So Bashar Communications has a mailing list, and they recently invited those of us to re-sign on to the mailing list. To me, this felt like a permission slip in and of itself. I'll go into my own translation later in a larger video about permission slips, because that's what Katya had asked for. Hello, Katya. Different tools, different ideas, different techniques, anything that we believe is going to help or aid us as a tool or experience to get us closer to where we more prefer to be. Anything in that way is a permission slip. That word, that phrase, permission slip, has been coined by the Bashar, and really, I honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I call it a prescription, and I think sometimes he calls it that too. So honestly, I lose track of what's mine and what's his sometimes. Oh, realty, authenticity. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos. Shane, just Shane, he just needs one name. 16 million viewers, it's amazing. I really enjoy his series with different YouTube people, and they're real, and they're laughing, and they're crying, and they're making friends with each other, and they're doing silly adventures, and buying a lot of things, or showing each other things that they bought. And I don't condone or agree with a lot of what's being presented on these channels, interestingly enough, but it's how they're doing it that's really, really approachable, actually. Realty. I had to look that up. Like, I didn't even know what it was. They're saying that on YouTube. A lot of these YouTubers are saying realty. It means like spilling the truth, spilling the tea, realty. I also really enjoyed the Jeffree Star episodes. And realty. I think I'm saying this right. Realty is an Irish word, realty, that means star. Jeffree Star, did you know that? Realty means star in Irish. Okay. But back to this permission slip, back to the email that was sent from Bashar Communications, inviting us to recast our vote for participating in these types of sharings. And for that, they gave us a link to a transmission from 2007, I believe, a free link entitled Permission Slips. In that, Bashar talks about permission slips. Again, I'll leave a link. And then he goes in to explain the higher self. And I had heard this session before. I thought I fully understood an explanation of the higher self, but I was ready for the next level, apparently, because these words hit in extremely profound ways and really solidified for me more so the experience of what we are actually having being a human. So a bit more of what I talked about in the last video of having this experience of being disconnected, but in actuality, we are never disconnected. We are always connected. We have to be connected in order to be having the experience of disconnection. So this goes into what the orchestration is of the higher self. How I translate this is that the higher self is existing in more so what we could say is a template reality, as the Bashar says, or a blueprint reality, or something that is actually a little bit more physicalized than what maybe we have been thinking. What society has led us to believe, that this higher self is something that is so far out or is in these very far high-reaching densities and dimensions. I'll do a different talk about densities and dimensions later, but I think a lot of us have this connotation that the higher self is something that is like very far removed from us. It's not. It's existing in this blueprint reality that how I'm translating it is actually a bit closer to fourth density. How I'm translating the higher self is that it is actually a slightly future version of us that, remember, is existing here and now, as everything that could ever exist is existing here and now. So it's a parallel version of us that we are connected to, that is deemed the most relevant, the most potent, potential, high vibrating version of us that we are in concert with, that is guiding the show. Now, Bashar explains it as the higher self is on the mountaintop, and the physical mind, the perceiver, the ego, we might say, or I translate it as the character, our personality construct, is in the valley. And the part of us that is in the valley can't see where the path is going. But that bird's eye perspective, that aspect of us, that higher self aspect of us in this blueprint reality, can see the entire track, can see that this path can go this way, this path can go this way, we can go this way or this way or this way, and there's all these different ways that we can go. And that this twin experience, I'm a Gemini, and I've always understood this experience of having this part of me that is directing and a part of me that is perceiving and watching the effect. And I've always been in communication with this aspect of the twin. And Bashar says that it's like this twin experience, this dual experience. So there's the mind perspective that does not know. The mind is not designed to know. The other way that I translate this, for me, is like a character in the show and the actor that is also the writer and the director of the show. The character in the show doesn't know the next line that they're going to say, doesn't know the next blocking they have, doesn't know where the scene is going, doesn't know the story, doesn't know the overarching themes, doesn't know why it's a play. They're in the play. And the actor knows the show. Again, playing with metaphor here, let's say the actor is the writer and the director all at once from this blueprint template reality. They have the lines memorized. They know the next blocking. They know all the exits and entrances. They know the themes. They know why it's being produced as a play. But the actor and the character must be on the stage together for the show to happen, or else it's a different type of experience. So how I translate this again, we are always channeling. This aspect of us that we are defining as our personality construct, as our character, is always connected to this actor, to the higher self, to the slightly future version of us that is sending us the next thought, the next idea, the next inspiration. Even, yes, ideas that could be defined as negative. Those ideas that we have that like we know are bad ideas and we don't do are still coming from the higher self, coming from the actor to the character, if only for the simple reflection for us to get to see that there's something else that we prefer. There's another option. There's another choice that we have. And what I'm being shown through the channelings of Bella is that what is more so happening to our consciousness at this point is us remembering that we've always been connected to this aspect of us that knows exactly where we need to go, that knows how it's going to all work out. We are always connected to that. And a big part of what our transformation is right now is remembering that connection so that we can fully relax into it, that we can relax our physical minds, that we can release a lot of the judgment, a lot of the stress on ourselves, and to know that we will truly, truly, truly be given the next line, the next blocking, the next exit and entrance, the next understanding of the theme from the higher self, from the imagination, from the actor in the show. Everything we think, everything is coming from that connection, from this blueprint reality. And when we really, really begin to understand that and to function from that, our day-to-day life becomes a channeling experience, becomes the embodiment, becomes like almost like a walk-in experience itself of a version of our soul that is existing somewhere and some when, that is a slightly higher vibrating aspect of us that we are now merging and bringing into our experience. And we really could even go so far as to say that it then becomes like a third entity that's created, and then that entity has a higher self and a higher self and a higher self from there. Like it never ends. But hearing this transmission in this way, again, I'll leave a link because I'm absolutely paraphrasing, absolutely translating my own understanding of this, and I invite people to take a listen to this session and get your own translations of what Bashar is saying. But how I translate it, because I come from the theater, is this actor-character scenario. And from there, life becomes this ultimate improv game. And there's something that is extremely simplistic and simultaneously mind-boggling, mind-blowing, and really freeing. And I'm still in the process of grounding this myself. To be like, what? Wait, whoa. Yeah, dudes, every thought is coming from this part of you that sees the entire show. Whoa. Real tea. Thank you all for watching. I will continue making these videos based on my authenticity, based on my exploring, and based on these reflections and ideas that I am getting from my normal human restaurant job. Everything that you put within is what we see without, and we're always changing, and we're fully supported. And I'm just rambling as I'm looking for my remote shutter. But thank you for my new subscribers, and thank you for all of the support that I have gotten thus far. And my love to you, and aloha.